Good morning, cultists! Welcome to Dessert Time with CthuLoops. Alright, so we recently finished our Jungle Vikings campaign, which means that it's time to do what we always do after every campaign. Cry myself to sleep, a post-mortem. The crying part comes afterwards. In any case, as with every other post-mortem, there's not going to be any actual playing of the game here. We're just going to be talking about the history of our campaign, the highs and lows, our, very many rulers, and of course we will take a look at the rest of the world and see how they're doing. Spoiler alert, I don't think anyone else is doing as well as we are, but I guess that remains to be seen. In any case, let's start with the history. So we started off as Haystein in Montague, I believe, and I'll talk about Haystein later, but yeah, from here I believe we went, did we go immediately to Rome? I don't remember. Or did we stop somewhere in the Iberian Peninsula? I feel like I would have taken one of these places. Maybe Ibiza? Did I conquer this at some point as a stepping stone to get to Rome? Alright, so maybe not that. Maybe Mallorca? That doesn't seem to be it either, as far as I'm aware. Maybe Minorca then, perhaps, where the men are orcs. Sadly, not true. If only. Yeah, I guess we didn't take this either. What the? Did I take Corsica? I wouldn't have taken Corsica, because if I took Corsica, then I don't know if I would have bothered with Rome. Did I take this? I didn't, did I? No, apparently it was destroyed at some point. Yeah, that wasn't me. Unless it was the county? But wait, the Varangian contests? Varangian contests. The Varangian adventure stuff is for duchies, so yeah, we would have taken their duchy at some point. Maybe Sardinia? Man, I can't remember anything. Good grief. I know we took this for sure. Well, maybe not the actual duchy, but the County of Rome. Yes. Let me make sure I'm remembering this correctly. Wow. That's a lot of popes. Holy crap. Oh wait, no, this is going way far back. There we go. There he is. Good old Haystein. My great-grandfather. Yeah, and that's when we established, Runestones Are Us, which seems to have been somewhat neglected. Maybe because of the naming. Yeah, it seems like maybe, or maybe not. Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe they've embraced Runestones Are Us. If only we could have actually kept Runestones Are Us, but oh well. Too far away? Ugh, unbelievable. Maybe that should have been our ending for this campaign, but oh well. That's fine, because I think that would have required another episode or two. Probably another episode, I think. Oh well, that's okay. Let's not extend this. Alright, so from there, from wherever we were, which is Montague, we went to... I feel like there was another step in between that and Rome, but maybe there wasn't. But anyways, from Rome, I believe we went to Sinai, right? And I think we... What the fuck? The duchy never existed? But didn't I take these places? I remember establishing our angry, sweaty Suez Canal. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I think the duchy title just didn't exist at the time. That's what it was. Right, right. So, yeah, we definitely conquered the entire Duchy of Sinai, I believe. I do distinctly remember our angry, sweaty Suez Canal, which I think would have worked out, you know, better than the actual Suez Canal. But anyways, From there, we went to... I kind of wish we had the diplomatic range to get to Socotra immediately. I could have gone for it anyways, I guess, but that was a lot of steps in between, so I think we went from there to... Did we go to Muscat? Because I remember we had a stepping stone in between that and Sri Lanka. Man, I don't remember. Did we take this? Maybe I should have done more research into my own campaign before I started this post-mortem. Oh well, that's okay. But yeah, we were in Sinai, and my intention was to get to Socotra in one fell swoop. But that would have taken extra steps, and I didn't want to waste my prestige cost and prestige and all that stuff. Because I think to do our Varangian adventure stuff, every time we do it, the base cost goes up by, I believe, double. Yeah, so that would have been prohibitively expensive for us to get to Sri Lanka. And I think Socotra wouldn't have given us much range anyways. I think it would have actually just given us range to essentially where we ended up in the first place, which was Anarta. And then from there we went to... Oh wait, no. Was it Somnath? I think it was Saurashtra. I think this is the place that we conquered. The first Indian duchy that we conquered. Yeah, I seem to distinctly recall this area being independent. Yes, there we go. So, from the Suez Canal, or Sinai, we went to... Did we go somewhere around here? But I think we circumvented Socotra because of the, again, prohibitive prestige cost of our Varangian adventure stuff, and decided to go straight for that, because I think that would have taken us 1, 2, whereas this took 1, 2. Yeah, that would have taken us an extra Varangian adventure, which we couldn't afford. Anyways, sorry, I'm harping on about the Socotra here. I think it's mostly because I haven't taken it anyways. From there, we went to, I believe, this duchy. I do distinctly recall this being a thing in our previous... Oh, right. It was taken and then destroyed. Gotcha. I thought that this was, like, fairly recent, but that was a long time ago. Almost 90 years. Holy crap. And from Saurashtra, we went to, of course, Jotunheim, our now ancestral homelands, because the Norse culture is almost exclusively in India now, which is fascinating to me. Still a bit of Norse here and there, mostly not in Scandinavia, though. Though I guess you could say that Norwegian and Swedish and Danish are, by extension, extensions of the Norse culture, but anyways. So yeah, our subcontinent of India is the now last bastion of the Norse. Or at least that's kind of my headcanon. I mean, it does seem like there exists more Norse counties outside of India, but still. Anyways, so we got to Sri Lanka, and then from there we started expanding up north. And I guess that's pretty much it for our kind of like ancient history, or at least the origin parts where we were before India, I guess you could say. And then from there we started expanding, and I believe, I guess we can now talk about the essentially 2 rulers that we've had, because what, Tokishor took over when? Like fairly recently, so I don't think we even need to talk about Tokishor at this point, because, what has he accomplished? Besides finishing off his father's war. So, yeah. Because I think it was definitely a Magnaraj who did the whole Empire of India, as well as the stewardship of the Sacred River and all that jazz, so, yeah. All of his accomplishments are his, I believe. Anyways, so we started off as Haystein and Montague. Wait, do I need to go over the history? I guess we can talk about the history in conjunction with each ruler's accomplishments. But like I said, we only have like 2 rulers to talk about, so that's not going to be a very long topic, I don't think. Anyways, we started off as Haystein and Montague. Interestingly enough, I had never actually heard of Haystein prior to this campaign, believe it or not. I know it seems a little incredulous, considering that he, I believe, is one of the more well-known Viking characters in both CK2 and CK3. But if you go through some of my, I guess, previous campaigns, you'll see that I make it a point to go out of my way to find obscure characters to play as. So I've never actually encountered Haystein in neither CK2 or CK3, and I've played CK2 how many hours now at this point? And even CK3 I've played a fair bit now, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting that I never actually heard of this guy before this campaign, but anyways, he accomplished a lot, and there's something I wanted to kind of address with this, with Haystein, as well as this campaign in general. I kind of wish he hadn't lived so long, you know? I mean, I'm glad that he kind of did, but I'm also, I hadn't intended for this campaign to only be, you know, spanning across the 2 generations. I was hoping to have at least a few more rulers in between, and each of them with their own notable accomplishments. Like, for example, I was hoping that Haystein would eventually get to India, establish a kingdom, and then just, you know, just kind of shuffle off his mortal coil. But then he went on to conquer a whole bunch more kingdoms, and then also, I believe, reform our religion. So, yeah. I guess I'm kind of glad that that happened, because it saved us a lot of trouble and headaches in the future, in the whole accruing of piety and prestige and all that stuff. But still, I think it would have been more interesting. Now, granted, I could definitely have tried to actively encourage his demise sooner, for sure. So I guess this is kind of my fault as well. But yeah, I don't know. Would have been more interesting, but also a bit more of a headache if we had more rulers in between, I guess. Especially with the elective system being... I feel like the elective system is a little janky still. I think it needs some fine-tuning and whatnot, but anyways. Sorry, I'm like all over the place, as I usually am, but especially so today. So yeah, I was... I guess... jazzed and miffed at the same time. I guess bittersweet that Haystein lived so long. Definitely one of my more longer living characters for sure, in both CK2 and CK3. I mean, not counting the mortal characters that we played as in CK2, but anyways. So yeah, he established the Freakula religion, etc, etc. I was also hoping to have another faith in between, you know, this point and the establishment of the Freakula religion. One without the war or warmonger tenet. I'm not quite sure what we would have gone for. I guess syncretic folk traditions was one thing. One option that we had considered. As kind of like an honoring of our Germanic roots and all that jazz, but I don't think it would have been very useful. If anything, it would have maybe made us more friendly with the dudes up north, but they don't... I mean, they do consider us to be evil, so I guess there's that, but... yeah, the pluralist does help a lot with the opinions of the other religions and all that jazz. And also, this pluralist doctrine turned out to be not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a bit of a headache, since it seems to kind of prevent me from doing what I usually do, which is the violent sort of vassal management. But this encouraged me to do a much more kind of peaceful and long-term vassal management than I had done in previous campaigns, which was interesting, not gonna lie. I like this pluralist thing. Didn't turn out to be as bad as I thought, for sure. And I like the whole thing where we try to, I guess, convert the children of our powerful vassals and then make them our culture and religion, etc., etc., etc. So I think that's something that we can definitely play around with more in the future, in future campaigns. The only downside is that without the violent and active vassal management techniques that I've been employing in the previous campaigns, it's a little difficult to get a handle on the, internal border gore, as it were. So, yeah, this is a right fucking mess. And I think if I had maybe wanted to, I could have maybe rejigged this a bit more so that I wouldn't be suffering with the vassal count as much, but oh well. It's not really been a huge hindrance to our campaign, this whole being over the vassal limit thing, so yeah. But I think we have some factors to thank for that, like the diamond mining pit here, which certainly helped out with our taxation and income and all that jazz. So yeah, without that, I think we would have struggled a lot more with the being over the vassal limit stuff. So yeah, there you have it. Do I want to talk about the culture stuff right now? No. Let's go more through Haystein's accomplishments. But I think that might have been it. Besides his accomplishments of the establishing the kingdoms and all that jazz, we started off this whole Alfheim thing, which was pretty cool, not gonna lie. I enjoyed the whole thing where we made Alfheim independent and then just let them kind of do their own thing. It would have been nicer, I think, if we could have let them be by themselves for a bit longer, but yeah, with the pacing of this game as opposed to CK3, I'm finding that the pace of the CK3 is a lot faster than CK2. Like, things get done sooner, and we're actually able to accomplish more things with a single ruler than we did in CK2, but I think I've actually talked about that before, and I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that point, but anyways, that's how I feel about the pacing of CK2 versus CK3. So yeah, we established the Kingdom of Alfheim, and that was pretty cool, and I think that might be about it for talking about Haystein. Who was it that did the whole thing with the Kingdom of Kosala and the forging of our alliance and stuff? Was that through Haystein or was that through Magnaraj? Now I know Magnaraj was this guy's friend, and you were betrothed to Lasigny. Ah, that was through Haystein. Okay, so one thing that I did want to try to do more in this campaign was kind of manipulating diplomacy more to kind of get what we want, if that makes any sense. I don't think we got to play around with that as much, but we did do the whole thing with the forging of alliance with Kosala through a matrilineal marriage through Lasigny. Wait, who is Lasigny to us? Lasigny is... No, that's Magnaraj. Haystein's Lasigny was our... ancestor. So our great-grandfather's daughter. Would that make her a great-aunt? A graunt? I don't know. I don't know if graunt is right, but yeah, pretty cool that we did the whole thing with that diplomacy stuff. And I think the reason why we were able to get the matrilineal marriage was not only because of a religion and all that jazz, but I think he was being attacked in a couple of wars, and that contributed to his acceptance of the matrilineal marriage to forge an alliance with us, which was pretty cool. It makes sense that he was feeling so desperate that he needed to secure any sort of alliance, whether it was good or bad, and then use that to defend himself. It was a bit of a shame that he was a coward, though, because I think that resulted in a lot of like back and forth between him, you know, accepting the demands of his rebellious vassals and all that jazz. But yeah. Oh, speaking of rebellious vassals, interesting in this campaign that we never really had too many massive rebellions. I think if I only remember the one, which was pretty cool, and I guess that's one of the benefits of taking a more, I guess, relaxed and peaceful approach to the vassal management and all that stuff. Not having to constantly put down my own vassals and all that stuff. But there is, I think, pros and cons to both strategies. So, yeah. I guess, in a way, it's more entertaining to watch someone who doesn't have to deal with the constant vassal revolts. So that might be something that that might be a strategy that I might employ more in the future. We'll see, though. We'll see. We'll see how this all pans out and all that stuff. What else? So I think that might have been all that we need to talk about with Haystein. Which then leads us to Magnaraj. Not Haystein's son, but rather his grandson, because Ragnar died before his time, which I was actually really glad for, because I think, yeah, Ragnar was getting fairly old anyways. So I guess if he had taken over, that could have contributed to the whole having more rulers in between stuff, but oh well. More successions means more opportunities for instability, so yeah. I'm not too miffed that Ragnar didn't get a chance to rule over, so yeah. And Magnaraj did a pretty good job of it, so I think that worked out. Wait, was Ragnar... Oh, he was also martially inclined. Right. I guess we could have added someone in between, but I think I wanted to have Magnaraj be more warlike to help with the expansion of stuff. So, I guess that kind of worked out. Did I want to talk about... No, let's talk about the... Let's finish off talking about our rulers, and then we'll talk about the other aspects of this campaign. So, Magnaraj, the first emperor of Vanaheim, when we established the Deccan Empire, I believe. And then went on to, well, conquer everything else. I think one of my more accomplished martial rulers for sure. 82 wars. My god. He's actually doubled the number of wars that his predecessor had. Holy crap-oly. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, though, I guess in terms of gameplay style, I'm usually more warlike, I suppose, so it's a bit of a shame that the style didn't really deviate that much from my previous campaigns of conquest and all that stuff, but I mean, that's essentially what this campaign was about, conquering the entire Indian subcontinent and then establishing our own blended culture empire here, which wasn't actually a blended culture, but, you know, with the next DLC. I mean, obviously, we won't be revisiting this campaign because it's done and dusted, but we will be playing as another culture and trying all the culture mixing in our next campaign and all that stuff. But sorry, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So what else did Magnaraj accomplish? I guess with Magnaraj, we could have maybe started a new faith. But, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world that we just kept Warmonger. It certainly helped us with our, you know, pacing and expansion and all that stuff. Though, I do wonder... Because I think with Indian rulers, at least in CK2, they used to get certain CBs against other Indian rulers. But I don't know if that's the case in CK3. And I don't know if it's tied, if that would be tied to a culture or a religion. I think it's all tied to being of the Dharmic faiths. I think that's what it is. Yeah, as long as you're part of the Dharmic faiths, you can, at least in CK2, I think you used to be able to duke it out with other Indian rulers and all that stuff, but I could be wrong. Did I want to talk about... Oh, no. Sorry, I'm talking... Magnaraj. What else did he do besides become the Samrat Chakravartin? I guess that's it, right? Yeah. I think Magnaraj was the one that secured the whole territory in Pratihara and Kosala and all that jazz. Which I don't think required that much finagling. Who killed Lasigny, though? Was it Magnaraj or I think it was Magdarosh who killed Lasigny, right? Sorry. So Lasigny was... Oh, maybe he was killed by someone else. I don't think it would have been Haystein though, because that's his daughter and you can't plot against your own child unless you're sadistic. So yeah, I think it was definitely Magdaraj. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Except these are only the publicly killed ones. Right. I kind of wish if I had played as a character, I would see the entire kill list, but oh well. That's fine. And I also do wish that we could have created all these kingdoms and renamed them and researched the history and all that stuff, but yeah, that's okay. That would have cost us a lot more money, because 500 ducats to create a kingdom? Oof. That is a lot. So yeah, I think that would have been, I mean, you know, besides all of his other accomplishments, I think that's pretty much it for Magdaraj here. Did also manage to have a lot of children, and I think I actually kind of enjoyed the whole building up to genius thing. Yeah, pretty cool that that seems to be the intended system for how you gain genius. You eventually kind of build up to it rather than pray that you find someone who's a genius and then just bang them and then birth a genius child or something, which I guess has a much lower chance of success, but I guess this is a more long-term scenario, which I guess is kind of the intention. Sure, that makes sense. Did I like the Dynasty Legacies? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure how I feel about the Varangian Guard stuff. I mean, it seems decent, but I don't know if that's the real end-all be-all. Especially since it seems to sometimes leave my children rather injured. Wasn't there someone who was like brutally maimed at some point during their Varangian stuff? I think there might have been a few injuries. Possibly. Yeah, so... I don't know if that system is working as intended, especially since we seem to be able to still employ our Varangian Guard characters as our own council. So maybe that needs a bit of a fine-tuning, but I don't know. I guess we're done talking about the accomplishments of Magdaraj. I don't think we need to talk about Tokishor, because essentially he just took over and ended the last war that Magdaraj was doing, which was the war for Mecca. What else? So I've talked about our religion. I don't think there's anything else that we need to necessarily talk about in terms of our doctrines or tenets. I like Bhakti. Yeah, I think it's one of the more useful tenets for sure. Now, some tenets I'm finding to be not as useful. Like, I'm pretty sure ritual cannibalism is still fucking garbage, since you can't... You basically have to, like, pray to get the cannibal trait, I think. But anyways. I don't think there was any particularly useless tenet. I guess gruesome festivals wasn't as... I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Wasn't quite as used in our religion as the other tenets for sure. So, something to consider, because how often can we do the grand sacrifices? Every 10 years. Now, granted, the bonus is fairly substantial, like getting huge opinion boost with all of your vassals of the same religion, etc., etc., and upping your popular opinion of counties and all that stuff. So, some used to it, but I think it's a little debatable. Yeah, especially since the decisions cost so much, but I think that's a scale, right? It's on a scaling thingamajig, as far as I'm aware. And I don't think there's anything else to really talk about in terms of our doctrines. I'm pretty sure I've done most of these before, if not some combination. Yeah, and I guess with the building up of our genius stuff, I'm less inclined to find various bang maids to bang and all that stuff. So another strategy to potentially employ in future campaigns and all that jazz. Oh, so I did want to talk about the culture. Now, I don't know how the technology system is going to change with the upcoming DLC that is going to, I guess, change the culture system somewhat, or maybe improve upon it. But I think one of the things that hindered us the most in this campaign was our technology. Yeah, I still think that the whole culture and technology system needs to be separated. It, to me, just doesn't make any sense that, you know, sure, we're Norse, but we've come here and we see that our neighbors are using, I don't know, like a working plumbing system. And yet we still suck poop out of each other's asses rather than employing our neighbors, fucking plumbing system. We're just using our old antiquated ways of, again, sucking poop out of each other's anuses, which I don't recommend. Having done it myself, I mean, it's definitely not something I do on a regular basis. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of my long rant about how I really think that the culture and technology system needs to be separated. I mean, I don't mind this. It's just weird to me. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But I guess that's kind of my not really idea, because I haven't really suggested a better alternative besides just separating the two. But I feel like I've done some thinking about this a while back, but then I just kind of forgot what I was hoping to see. Oh well. Yeah, and especially since we couldn't change the culture thing ourselves, I guess once the culture splitting and merging stuff happens, maybe this won't be a problem that we'll have in the future campaigns, since we can be the head of our own culture and all that jazz. But yeah. Oh, so I think I just remembered why I have such an issue with the notification system. I know I'm harping on this a lot, but I really, really, really hate the notification system change that they made to CK3, and that's because of my shitty memory. Now, you could say, oh, why don't you just pay attention more? Okay, well, not really doable, but sure, why not? I guess it's very easy, but anyways, sorry, what am I talking about? But yeah, I think one of the issues that I have with the messaging or the notification system is that in CK2, I used to be able to customize it to a way that would work really, really well with my lack of attention and terrible memory. Whereas in CK3, it is just fucking all over the place. Some things that are just so irrelevant, like my various vassals, I don't know, fucking each other and all that jazz. I mean, it makes sense in a religion where it's criminal to do adultery stuff, but I used to get that in religions where we allowed adultery too. And yet, when something important happens to our family, nothing. Not even a single notification. Nothing. We have to like learn through by, I don't know, doing something, or just be constantly aware of our characters. I really wish there really needs to be a customized notification system. I'm hoping that they do add in the future, but anyways, sorry, I'm harping on that again. Good grief. Move on, man. Move on. All right, so talk about the culture. Talked about the religion. I think one of my favorite parts of this campaign, personally, was doing the research behind all the different kingdoms in India, and seeing the parallels between the Indian and Norse culture as well as the religions. I thought that was absolutely fascinating, but that's not really to do with the... I mean, I guess that is to do with the campaign because it's a relevant topic, but it's not like, you know, I had to do this campaign to do that. I guess in a way, I'm trying to say that I'm glad that this campaign kind of reignited my love of, or interest in, I guess, not really, I guess anthropology in a way, in I find that fascinating, the origins of humanity and the different cultures and all that jazz, and seeing the ties of how, you know, the Indian religions are somehow tied to the Norse religions, and there's so many parallels, etc., and the whole Indo-Aryan move out of the cradle of humanity and all that stuff, if that makes any sense. I know I'm not really phrasing that well, but anyways, yeah, one of my more favorite parts of this campaign, and also being able to essentially convert our religion from Germanic to Hindu in a one-to-one kind of like conversion thing with our tenets and all that stuff. That was pretty cool too. So I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the whole forging of our alliance with Kusala and finagling the claim and all that jazz. That was pretty cool, I thought. And hoping that's something that we can do more in the future, as well as releasing Alfheim to do their own shit. Hopefully something else that we can also do more in the future. And I guess that's kind of it for the highlights that I can think about. Now, in terms of the lows or the parts that I can improve on, obviously the building stuff, like keeping on top of my buildings when I have the money and not just letting it all pile up and needlessly. Though I guess it's always important to have a bit of a slush fund in case shit hits the fan and you need to absolutely do something to that costs a lot of money. So yeah, and I think that if I had a better messaging or notification system, that would help out a lot too, I guess. But wait, we do get a notification for when the buildings are completed, right? It's just not one that that's very prominent. It's just one of those side notifications that get swept away with the whole slew of irrelevant information. So yeah, again, I think that system definitely needs to be revamped like fucking nobody's business. I hate that so much. Anyways, and I think one thing that I could have hopefully have done more of is play around with the different educations, but that would have been, I guess, something that we could have done if we had more rulers in between Tokishore and Haystein. But yeah, I guess it would have been cool to see how the stewardship focus would have played out. But oh well, I mean, we're at the end of our campaign, so you know, it is what it is. But I'm hoping that we can play around with the stewardship focus more in the future campaigns, because we have done martial. I don't know if there's enough in diplomacy to really warrant its own, I guess, playthrough, if that makes any sense. Intrigue was pretty cool. Learning was really, really powerful, I feel. And I think stewardship is also meant to be fairly powerful as well. So again, hopefully something that we can play around with more in the future. But that's for a future campaign, so yeah, not really relevant to this. Any other lows? I guess the pacing. Maybe I could have edited the campaign more. Maybe, I don't know how other content creators do their CK2 or CK3 stuff, because again, I don't really watch other content creators for their Crusader Kings stuff. I don't want there to be any of me taking their talking points or their, I guess, banter, or I guess their mannerisms or their habits. I'd rather develop my own. So I try to go out of my way to not watch other content creators or other CK2 or CK3 content. So yeah. Anyways, shit, where was I going with this? Fuck, I've forgotten now. Crap, see? This is why I need a better notification system. My god. Future campaigns? No, that's not what I was talking about. Talked about religion, culture, our various rules. Oh, highs and lows. And then different play styles? Shit, I don't remember. And I guess I could have handled the more finer aspects of vassal management better? I don't know though. I mean, besides the whole being over the vassal limit thing, I haven't had too many issues with my vassals. Yeah, again, border gore is a significant problem, but really, for me, it's more of an aesthetic problem than than anything else. So I'm not too, I'm trying to like force myself to be not too bothered by it, if that makes any sense. So yeah. Oh, something that I could have done more or done better, I think, is because I had the intention of basically theming our kingdoms. Yeah, but that didn't quite pan out. Now, Alfheim, yeah, that worked out with the Butimus characters. But Nidavellir was meant to be Dwarven Kingdom, and well, I guess that's kind of it in terms of like physical stuff. Maybe Muspelheim, we could have encouraged more Herculean characters to rule over, but that kind of also went to Alfheim, so yeah. Oh well. What else? Oh, another highlight of mine, personally, was seeing all the mixing of both cultures and peoples. So I especially liked the whole thing where our two cultures and peoples mixed, and there were characters who, well, I don't know if he's a really good indicator. Well, I didn't like this character, but I'm hoping that we can find someone who kind of shows what I'm talking about. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that it was really cool seeing characters with the blonde Norse hair mixed with the Indian complexion. I think, oh, there we go. Like her, for example. I thought that was actually really cool. Obviously, in real life, the whole having a blonde hair thing would take a couple of generations because blonde hair is a recessive trait. So, you know, you would have to have at least a couple of parents who are both carriers, or if not, outright have blonde hair. So, yeah, again, it would have taken a couple of generations, but still, really cool to see that happening. Would have been even cooler if we could have kind of established that with our culture, but oh well. And the timing was also kind of impeccable with the mixing culture, and then next DLC is going to be culture stuff. But anyways, I think that's it in terms of highlights and lows. I'm really sorry if I'm like really all over the place. My head's been kind of in a weird space this little while, so I'm especially a little bit more scatterbrained than usual. And also one of the reasons why there's been such a long gap in between the last episode and the post-mortem, but you know, you don't really care about that. Anyways, let's do a tour around the world, and I guess that'll be it for our post-mortem for this awesome and really enjoyable campaign, at least for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this as well, but yeah, I really enjoyed this campaign. So north of us we have Tibet, which seems to be kind of coming together somewhat. There seems to be a lot more sizable kingdoms, more blobbing kingdoms, I suppose you could say. So that's nice to see. It's a shame when the AI can't seem to handle large territories, but I'm glad that they're somewhat getting their shit together. Whoa! I don't think I've ever seen this kingdom before. Oh! Interesting. That's a pretty cool coat of arms. Looks like an egg with like a black shell. Like, you know, it's been cut in half or something, or maybe it looks like oh, you know what it looks like? If you've ever cut open a sea urchin, I think that's essentially what they look like. They kind of look like yolky and eggy on the inside, but I mean, obviously they're not. It's not like sea urchins like are alien eggs or something. No, they're eggs. They're actually eggs of sea hedgehogs. Yeah, this is totally real and totally not a thing that I'm making up on the spot. That's what sea urchins are. They're essentially eggs of sea hedgehogs, which obviously mankind has never seen. But being a deep one myself, a fish person, I've seen a lot of sea hedgehogs. But anyways, sorry, we're talking about the fucking tour around the world and I'm talking about sea hedgehogs. Upsutter Hollow? Wow, that's a pretty awesome duchy name. I think I've actually seen this before in a previous tour around the world, and I'm just talking about this again. I don't know if there's much to really say about the steppe region. It's always a giant mess, and it's usually always Tengri, so yeah, not much to really say. It seems, though, that the Tibetan faith is pushing out Buddhism in Tibet. So that's kind of interesting to see. Yeah. I feel like I don't usually see the unreformed religions push out the organized ones, but I guess it kind of depends. Especially since the tribal rulers tend to get more troops. Now, I think they're usually lower quality troops, but they do tend to get more troops than the feudal ones, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Oh, sorry. So religion map mode in the steppe region, and culture map mode. Sorry, in Tibet as well. Mongol coming in, I guess, but I don't know if that's necessarily a giant push for anything. No, they're defending against stuff. All right, cool. All of Tengri over here as well. Sure. Don't know if there's much to say about that. Khazaria, looking nice and big, and still Jewish. Nice, very cool. Khabarism. I wonder. I think eventually, once they do Horse Lords, maybe we'll do March of the Jewish Horde Part 2 or something. Or Return of the Jewish Horde. That's it. That's what we can do for our future campaign or something. And then we'll play as Khazaria and do that all over again. Although, I don't know how viable World Conquest is in CK2 or in CK3 as it is in CK2. Though I guess World Conquest isn't super viable even in CK2 unless, you know, you're willing to stuff a whole bunch of kingdoms and empires, or I guess kingdoms within the same rulers and all that stuff, but yeah. Hopefully performance playing as a Horse Lord in CK3 will be better in this than it did in CK2. And I do wonder if maybe the performance issue that I had with the War for Mecca might have been from the Abbasids trying to gather all of their troops in several locations, because I generally get my troops to spawn out of one, if not maybe a couple, if not one county, whereas I think the AI just kind of does that thing where they just, you know, raise all here or whatever, not the control click thing. So yeah, I think that might have been maybe one of the reasons why there was all that lag, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. So that's Khazaria, and they're Khazar, and it seems like, oh, interesting. So the Slavic religion is still doing pretty well, as is the Removan religion. Interesting. Because I find that the Removans usually get stomped out by the Slavics, or maybe not the Sumenusko, but the Germanic dudes up north. But they are still there. So good for you guys. Really good for you guys. I don't know if there's much to say about that, I guess. It seems that the Kingdom of Novgorod is... What the fuck is this? And what is this fake Switzerland? What the hell? White Rus? Okay. And they're also Russian, right? Yeah. Interesting. Alright, cool. Well, you guys have fun. Hopefully, you'll actually establish the Empire of Russia, but I doubt it. I don't think I've ever seen the AI establish an empire in this game yet. Yeah. Okay, so moving back into our original ancestral homeland of Scandinavia. Doesn't seem like much has changed religiously, which is interesting, I guess. But I suppose you don't see a lot of the Germanic realms convert to Catholicism if you start out in this timeline, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah. All right, so what else? Lithuania's looking fairly big. Cool. Is there... Doesn't seem to be a Kingdom of Poland yet. Ah, okay, so that's... I see. Right, right. Okay, cool. What? What is this kingdom? Oh, Bohemia. Except... Wow. That is janky. Well, good luck to you, sir. Hopefully you get that shit figured out, but I doubt it. Cultural map mode. And religion map mode. I guess the most well-established realms here would be Sweden and Denmark currently. So I think Sweden has a bigger edge than Denmark does presently, so yeah. Moving into the British Isles, we have Alba up north. Irish Scotland, apparently. And Ireland itself is still insular. Well, at least they established a kingdom, so that's pretty cool. When did this happen? Oh, a while back. And then it got destroyed? What the fuck? Interesting. And was recreated fairly recently. Huh. Wow. Alright. I don't know if there's much else. It seems to be largely Catholic and, well, yeah. Culture, Welsh, Cornish, Norse, Scots, Gaelic, Anglo-Saxon, the usual fare. And of course, Alba has expanded to Iceland, because, you know, why not? Insular Norse. Wait, they're usually insular here, right? Or are they usually Italian? What the fuck is this dynasty? Maybe he was born somewhere else? And then he just became Norse. I see. I guess he could have also changed his culture to match his liege and all that stuff too. Anyways. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Insular. Has this always been insular? No, it's been Norse. And then the Catholics came in. Oh, his son converted to Catholicism. And that's been around for a little while, and then got inherited by an insular Norse. And it's been that way since. I see. Cool. Whoa, West Francia. You are doing a lot better than I thought you would. Holy shit. Oh, so we're moving into the, Western Europe now, I guess. So yeah, West Francia seems to be, well, in terms of their territory at least, they're doing pretty well. Financially, they are, yeah, they're disastrous. I think he's at Tiger King's level of financial ruin. So there's that. And then we have Germany, which never seems to have recovered since the start of this campaign. What the fuck? East Francia? The kingdom got destroyed? Alright, so what about Bavaria then? The Kingdom of Bavaria does exist. I see. Right. I think it's actually been owned by a Franconian dude for quite some time. And I think... What was it? East Francia was ruled by a Bavarian dude? I think that was a weird switcheroo. Lotharingia owned by a French person right now, or a French ruler. Denmark? What the fuck? Whoa, wait, what? Oh, that's why it's all messed up right now. Ah, the Viking invasion of Germany. I see. Interesting. Whoa. What the fuck? Freya Brittany? Wait, I think we actually saw that before, didn't we? Yeah, I think we saw something similar. I seem to recall Thrandheimer, I think? Might have been ruled by a Freya person at some point. Yes. Oh, it's her. Wait, so she lost that place and then regained Brittany? And it's all Freyaquila too. Wow. That is fascinating. I do wonder how our religion will interact with the already established Catholic religion. I'm assuming it's gonna get stomped out, most likely. If they do any amount of holy warring, that is. Now, wait, what's your religious fervor in Catholicism? 82. It's actually higher than I thought it would be. Because usually, by the end of the campaign, the religious fervor for Catholicism tends to tank. But I guess maybe if they have some issues pop up and they quash it, that also fixes things somewhat. I thought taking... Oh, I guess maybe losing... Oh, right. Never mind. Losing the Holy War does increase the fervor, but that wasn't a Holy War for Mecca. Sorry, anyways. I don't know if there's much to say about Central Europe, or I guess around Germany. Yeah, Eastern Europe is a bit of a mess as well right now. And those are the religions, or religions and cultures. Italy, also a giant mess, it seems, with Tuscany expanding from within. Sorry, exploding from within. Good grief. Italy is not having a good time at all. Wow. I wonder what set that off. Because Europe seems to be having a really hard time getting their shit together in this campaign than previous campaigns. Except for, of course, West Francia, but, you know, they have their own issues. I don't know if there's much to say about Italy here. Religion and culture. Still a bit of a Lombardy around. Cool. And now we move into, well, I guess this area here. We have Bulgaria, which seems to be expanding a fair bit. Good for them. Wow. Very expansive. I think I've noticed that a lot in CK3. In that Bulgaria seems to expand a fair bit for the most part. Interesting. I guess they're also backed up by the Greeks, the Byzantines are also Orthodox, so I guess there's that. Byzantines seem to be doing a little bit better this time around. I don't know if there's been any major issues in their rulership. I guess they've had some faction and stuff, but nothing too severe, I don't think. Really? How far back does this go? Wow. Holy shit. Anyways. And now moving into the Abbasids. I don't know if there's much to say. I mean, we've already kind of looked at this guy before. So, yeah, there's that. And I guess we ended the truce with this, or had the truce with this guy, so. Good for you, sir. And now he is... Whoa, I see. There's a crusade for Jerusalem. Interesting. So, when did this start? This started 2 years ago. When did we conquer Mecca? I'm trying to see the timeline and see if Mecca was conquered last year, May. Right, and the war started 18 months ago. Interesting. So, I guess while they were defending against the crusade, we decided to jump in and take Mecca for ourselves. Wow. They are not having a good time, it seems. Yeah. Holy crap-oly. Yeah. I'm kind of miffed that we didn't get our own Great Holy Wars this campaign, though. Or any other campaign. I feel like the qualifications for a religion to get access to the Great Holy Wars is a little too restrictive at the moment. But then again, I guess they're fairly powerful, so I suppose it kind of makes sense for them to be fairly restrictive in that sense. And besides, we get access to a Kingdom tier Holy Wars anyways, so it's not, you know, a huge thing. So yeah, I have like 2 Kingdom tier Holy Wars to use with every character, so it's, you know, no skin off the back of my teeth, I guess. And now moving into East Africa, since I don't know if there's much to really look at in terms of the Near East, I guess? Yeah. Tahirids and the Safavids, you know, all the same Ashari and all that stuff. Persian, Tajik. And yeah, those are the cultures. And again, now back into East Africa. They don't seem to be... No one seems to be gaining much territory. Yeah... A lot of snipes and back and forth between counties, but that's kind of it, I think. Bit of a shame. Still largely Waki, though, with the Coptic dudes coming in from the west. What about the Kordofan? I guess that's died off, hey? Ah, what a shame. What a shame. Actually, let me see if it's... Oh, wait, no, because Coptic is its own thing, right? Religion... Or not Coptic, but Kordofan. I think that's what the actual name is. What it's actually called. Let me go by name. Apparently I've forgotten the alphabet. Was it? Oh, Kushaitism, that's what it is. Not Kordofan, my bad. Kushaitism is, yeah, definitely dead. Aw, that's a shame. That's another religion that I'd like to definitely play as in the future. Since this appears to be the ancient Egyptian religion or something. At least I think that's what it's meant to be. Yeah. Okay, so culture. Nothing too surprising. I don't remember ever seeing this culture though. But I might have just not really paid enough attention to notice, I guess. And moving deeper into Africa. Or rather, more west into Africa. No one here managed to reform their religion, did they? Man. I feel like Ghana could have done that. You definitely own 4 holy sites, man. Why didn't you reform your religion? Ah. I'm guessing he's had some other issues, maybe? I mean, he's certainly rich. Wow. Is that from, like, diamond mines and such? Don't they have some pretty precious metal mines in this region? I feel like they do. But I don't want to spend 50 million years trying to find it. What is that coat of arms? Is that like a couple of scythes? That looks pretty cool. Also looks like one of those space invaders. But anyway, sorry. Well, see, this is the kind of shit that distracts me. Just random garbage. Like, you know, images or whatever, I guess. I guess that's everyone. Kong, yeah. It's a shame that we never got to see any other religions get reformed, but oh well. Then again, I guess we didn't reform our religion either. We just switched to Hinduism and started our own thing. So yeah. And now we move into North Africa. Not much to really say. It's the usual fare. The Idrisids still in power, and the Aghlabids, or the Kingdom of Africa, I guess, doing its own thing. Yeah, and then we have the Iberian Peninsula, which seems to be largely Muwalati. Wow, because I feel like more often than not, the Catholics usually... Do they usually take over? I guess it's kind of a 50-50, isn't it? Sometimes I see the Catholics dominate, sometimes I see the Muslims dominate, but it's usually one way or another. I don't think there's much of a stalemate in the long run. Yeah. And I guess in this instance, yeah, the Iberian Peninsula has been taken over by the Muwalatis. And the cultural net mode, in case you're curious. Oh, there's still some Basque. That's nice. I mean, I don't know if there's any Basque rulers around, but good to see that the culture exists. Oh, that's nice. Is anyone actually Basque, though? Obviously not in real life. I do know some, well, I know one Basque person in real life, but I guess no actual Basque rulers, sadly. Just the culture still exists. Gotcha. Oh, I guess there's no cultural head because no one is Basque. Oh, I guess that's how you can see if there's a if the culture is still alive or not. The culture head. So the Catalan culture is pretty much the same. What? The Visigoths are still around? What the fuck? That's funny. And still funny that the Visigoths don't get access to, what's it? Visigothic codes. That is so dumb. Was that an oversight? I don't get it. Or was that never meant to be a thing? The Visigoths don't even get access to their own codes or something. I don't know. I guess it's kind of an older culture, so maybe the idea is that it's meant to die off and then eventually the post-Visigoths kind of adopt, I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like in that case, then they should have the Visigothic codes, but anyways. I guess the biggest realm in the Iberian Peninsula is these guys, who are, I'm assuming, yes, part of the Umayyad dynasty. Gotcha. I still think it'd be really cool to have rival houses and all that stuff, but yeah, that's fine. The Casids are still around, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it was the Casids, not the Casids. I keep forgetting. My bad, the Casids were the rival dynasty of ours when we were playing as the Casids. That's it. Okay, so I think that might have been the tour around the world. Apologies again if everything was very haphazard and not very fleshed out. But like I said, having a bit of a weird brain day or something. So there you have it. A lot of verbal diarrhea. Not a lot of content. Not a lot of good content, at least. Just shitting all over myself. And I guess that's it. I don't know if there's much else to really say. Like I said, I really enjoyed this campaign. Especially like that it reignited my love of research into history and anthropology and seeing the similarities between cultures and religions, etc., etc. Hopefully something we can do more of in the future, as in maybe in a future campaign when we play as... I think what we'll do a lot in future campaigns is starting off somewhere, moving to another location, another part of the world, merging with that culture, and then either going back to our ancestral homeland. I like because I think we've had a few suggestions of future campaigns, and one of the ones that kind of stuck out to me was the idea of migrating out of your homeland and then merging your culture with something that's like completely different, and then going back to retake your ancestral homeland and that kind of stuff. That idea fascinates me, so that might be something that we can possibly look into more in the future. And I think one of the benefits of that is that I get to educate myself on the history of different parts of the world and the possible, I guess, connections between cultures that don't appear to have that much in common at first, second, and 34th glance. But, you know, like I said with the Nordic and Indian religions, seem to be a lot of parallels there. So hopefully I can make more of these kind of discoveries for myself in the future. Obviously, I'm not saying that, oh, I made this discovery that no one else has discovered, but, you know, for myself at least, hopefully I can make these discoveries and all that, because I do really love that stuff. I just love learning, so, you know, there's that. I apologize if I've forgotten to mention anything or if I've forgotten to go over anything. I don't know if there's much else to say. I think one thing I've been doing fairly well in this campaign, one of the things that I've been doing fairly well is making sure that my various courtiers as well as family members end up getting married. So something that we can definitely do more of in the future. Now, that's a lot of micromanagement though, so it might be something that I would need to possibly do off camera or something, or maybe I think I might need to be more okay with just putting cuts in the middle of episodes to do all that kind of stuff. Like, for example, if we have a lot of like clicking and shit to do that we need to do, then maybe I'll just put a break in there and then come back after all the menial clicking and stuff has been done, etc., etc. So, yeah, something to possibly look forward to more in the future. I don't know if there's much else to really say. Ended up getting more achievements than I originally thought we would end up with. Yeah. And that was good. That was good. Again, I don't really know if there's much else to really say. It would be nice for, I guess, I mean, this is more of a future DLC kind of thing, but it would be nice to, you know, be able to interact with China. You know what I'd like to see, though? Is CK3 of the entire world. Because there's shit that's happening in Asia right now at this point in history as well that I would love to get more involved with. And if we could do that, that'd be great. I wonder what would happen if they added, like, North America. Like, can we actually... Like, I don't know how far our recorded history... I guess it'd be more of a verbal passing down of history and all that jazz. But I'm talking about the First Nations in the Americas and whatnot. That would be, I think, cool as well. Because the few times that I played EU4... Those are the only realms or nations that I like playing as, the First Nations. So maybe that's something that we can, that'd be great if we could. I mean, obviously, it's a little maybe beyond the scope of it, because it's Crusader Kings, you know. So, and especially since, I don't know if you can really say that there's a king or really territories, what with a lot of First Nations, nations being very nomadic and all that stuff, so I don't know. Who knows if that makes any real sense in the context of this game, but I'm thinking it'd just be cool to add more territories and all that jazz is kind of what I'm saying here. So, and especially other cultures. That'd be cool to get some more ones to differentiate from the ones that already exist, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for our post-mortem. Apologies for any haphazard jibber-jabber, verbal diarrhea, etc., if I've missed anything. Hopefully I haven't said anything incredibly offensive or anything like that, at the very least. But that's a pretty low fucking bar, so, you know. Wow, anyways, yeah, I guess that's going to be it for our Jungle Vikings campaign. Again, I really enjoyed this, and, I don't know if there's much that I need to say in terms of whatever. But yeah, as this is the last episode of the, well, I mean, technically this is the epilogue of the campaign. I'd just like to say thank you for all the likes and the comments. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your continued support and love. We will, of course, be back with more CK3 once the new DLC drops, because I have no idea when that DLC is going to drop. And since our campaigns usually go on for about 2 months for, you know, maybe 60 or so episodes, it seems. I think that's been the most part at least. Yeah, for the most part, I think it's been at least, you know, 60 episodes or so, which, again, spans across 2 months. So, since the new DLC is most likely going to destroy all of our currently running saves, I don't think there's any point in starting a campaign now, and then having it be scrapped because of the new DLC dropping and all that jazz. So I don't know how long the when the new DLC is going to come out, but there's not going to be any new CK3 content until then. It's possible that I might try streaming some CK3 farther down the line in on Twitch, but I doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't mind just taking a bit of a break and just, you know, relaxing while the new the DLC is being worked on, etc., etc. But who knows? But yeah, that's going to be it for our Jungle Vikings campaign. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have, because this was a blast for me. But yeah, I will hopefully see you guys in the next campaign, or somewhere else on the channel, or maybe on Twitch. Who knows? Alright, so for now, thanks for watching, and have an amazing breakfast.